Welcome to our podcast. We'll think of something. This is Jam.
And this is Daniella. On episode 5 of our podcast, Jam and I speak about Pride Week, business ventures, and anxiety. How was your Pride weekend, Jam?
It was awesome.
Yeah, Ambush was super cool. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did.
I actually really liked Ambush.
Because I danced because I had alcohol in my system.
Everyone dances when you have liquid courage.
I know. I can't otherwise. That's the only
Really?
way I can. Yes.
Do you think you'd be able to dance if everyone around you, the people you came with, danced with you?
I mean, maybe, but I really wouldn't want to. I only have granny moves.
Granny moves?
Yes.
Look, you can utilize granny moves on a dance floor anytime you want. I'm just saying.
I was learning some new ones. I've added to my repertoire.
Your repertoire.
Yeah. I have like a few, they're mostly upper body moves with like a few side step.
So like a knee bopper and a shoulder sway.
I don't
maybe-
even know if I have a knee.
You have to have a knee. Knee bopper is like...
You're saying like a little bounce?
Yeah, you have to have a bounce.
Okay.
You can't just... Like, I'm bouncing right now, but I guess you have to do it when you're standing.
Yeah, no, there's a little knee bend, but it's very subtle. No one's gonna notice, but I guess there's a little bit of bopping.
Yeah.
And then, like shoulder movement.
Right. You know what? Ambush has never been a big deal in Buffalo, but it was poppin' that night. What do you think about Pride this year in Buffalo that made it so much bigger than it has before?
Well, I don't think I ever went to Ambush during Pride Week before. I don't know if that was something new that they did or not, but I think, well, they had more of a dance floor area instead of, usually it's just at a bar and everyone's kind of hanging out with their own people, but this was more of a club vibe, I guess.
Okay, so I think that they did very well, but no, you know what? Hold on. What they did very well on was the marketing, and it got a lot of people out there. That's what I liked about it a lot, but the way they had it was like any other ambush. The only difference was that it was Pride Week. That's the only thing that...
Yeah, and that probably brings people out just in general.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go to an event and not... I have to be able to judge it. I have to judge it. That's just what I do.
I mean, it's kind of like homework, isn't it?
Yeah. So, every time I go to an event, it's I look at how everything's placed, right? So, I see, where the artist or the DJ or the band is going to be. And then I look at the aesthetic more than anything. So, if you have a shitty flag hanging up behind your DJ booth, that's not good to me. That's just
That shit matters that much?
Oh my god, yeah, it totally does. At least, to most people, it's probably subconscious to a lot of people.
Right.
To, the event planner, it subconsciously gets people to like the vibe better. Does that make sense? So, everything you place in the room has to be placed strategically for the audience.
Ambiance.
Yeah, the ambiance, that should be perfect, yeah.
No, okay, that makes sense. This one they just had, what, was there a rainbow flag in the Pride, logo? Or the Ambush logo?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, the stage was not very well dressed or anything. It was just a couple flags and then their DJ booth. I mean, I honestly wish they would kind of change it up a little bit. Not even just, not everybody, like me, loves DJs. So,
right.
Why can't you throw in a band or something here and there? It's always kind of the same thing. It's always that same guy, and he's always, I guess, doing the same stuff.
They had Hunter Valentine. So,
which I didn't get to see and was very upset.
You're right, because that's, the only band that played. So you're right. There has to be multiple things. So, for example, the Pride Festival was a shit show, too, right? Mm-hmm. So, the whole point of that Pride, at least for the Prides that I've been to in San Francisco and Los Angeles, there are multiple stages and multiple activities to do. It's not just you have one stage with people that don't know what they're doing that they're going up there, which is cool because they introduce locals, But at the same time, it's boring as shit. Like I don't see any type of entertainment going on. It's like everyone knows that person because it's their neighbor. I see how that's
Right.
kind of cool, but at the same time, I don't see it changing. Like there's no change. Like it just seems like it's been the same every year for the past whatever years Pride's been going on in Buffalo.
Well, yeah, and even if we're just talking about ambush in general, which is its own kind of separate thing, I think maybe that they just need to switch that thing up. I mean, every time you go to ambush, it's the same dude. So you're gonna, of course, get the same people because they're the ones that know that person and are going to see it.
Right. So my whole deal with like Pride is that regardless of the meaning behind it, any event in general, especially if it's recurring, like annually, monthly, every week, whatever it is, there always has to be a change because that's how shit dies. And if anyone doesn't know what ambush is, it's just this small group that has what do they have? They have
It's
events,
monthly.
monthly events for LGBT members, mostly lesbians, to just take over or ambush a heteronormative bar, right?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
idea.
So that's what they do, and they have the same DJ whose name is DJ Milk, and he's doing a great fucking job because he obviously knows what the crowd wants.
I like what Ambush does in general, though. I think that's a cool thing because there's not really a female gay bar in Buffalo. There's a couple of gay bars, but are mostly dominated by men if you actually walk into there. So I think it's cool to like get the community together once a month for whatever it's worth and whoever goes there. But I mean, at least you can kind of see people, and I mean, probably all the same people you know,
Right.
but
Which is horrible. Like, you want to escape that shit once in a while. Like, my thing about that is that I always tell people that I grew up in an area spoiled. That spoiled me, sorry. Because if I wanted to go to a lesbian bar, there was one, or two. Actually, like 15. If I wanted to go to a gay bar, there's like 2,000 of those. If I wanted to go to a straight bar, or just a regular bar is what I guess people call it, then it's, you know, then it's there. But like when I moved to Buffalo, one of the first things I noticed was that whole culture shock factor was that it's so behind times. And I kind of like that in the business aspect because it means that my company that does event production, I feel like I know what I'm gonna do
you're
already.
filling a niche.
A niche. Yeah, yeah. So like coming into an area that hasn't seen what I've seen so far, at least most people haven't, is like a huge deal because I feel the need to like help them, kind of. Does that make sense? Although not everybody agrees with what I'm trying to do.
I mean, they don't have to agree with anything. They don't have to come. Like,
No, I know that they don't have to come, but it's like I don't know. It's just there's a lot of talk about good neighbors, right? That's like how Buffalo is. You're like city of good neighbors,
yeah,
right? And it's awesome because you talk to these people, these strangers, and it's a small enough, a big enough town to where you'll recognize someone and you've spoken to them and you can make an awesome networking decision with them, but at the same time never see them again, right?
right.
But I noticed that along the lines of trying to make these connections, some of them fall through more often than they stick together.
And that you think that's a Buffalo thing in particular?
I don't know if it's just a Buffalo thing, it could be other cities, but definitely the first city I've ever been and lived in that did that is Buffalo. And I'm not trying to to choose and make it direct towards certain people, but all the people that I have tried to do business with, they have something similar, and that's the whole like city of good neighbors. I want to help you, you help me, but when the time comes to it, they're just talking shit out of their ass. That's what it seems like.
But I wonder what that is. That's odd to me.
Like, what's a good example? Okay, you can tell someone you're from Los Angeles, and you have plans to have these crazy ass events, and you try to connect with people that are doing something similar that are already from here, and the moment it comes to it, they're talking a lot and very positive about the industry, but then when you're finally ready to move forward and actually do something, they shit out on you, like they fall through.
Maybe we're so neighborly that they just want to say to your face something really nice.
No, that is fake.
And then come time to actually do it.
That is fake, and I disagree with all of that. So that's something that you should not do.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I had a situation where when I first moved here and I wanted to start the event production company, I contacted some people from. See, this is funny because I don't know if I should say the names of these things or not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not this one. So I contacted some people that are doing something similar to what I'm doing, and I'm emailing them and talking to them, and they basically, long story short, told me that they're the only event production company that does that in Buffalo, and that they're not looking for anyone to collaborate with or partner with, and that it's going to stay that way.
So that's a competition thing. They're trying to keep other people out.
Right. But like any other growing successful city, that you don't make a competition, you work together. At least that's how I see it. Obviously some people don't, but something that I learned in Buffalo too is that people stick to the way they have had things for years. Like they refuse to change, and it's kind of scary because you're looking into a city that has a lot of potential for good gentrification, not shitty gentrification, like just good shit, like something that'll do good for the city, and they refuse to do that because change is like not okay with them.
I mean, I can see where that's coming from. I can see where we're slow to change, but recently we have. Semi-dramatically, I mean, they put canal side in within the past few years. They're starting to do something with the old grain silos, so I mean, they're trying, I think. A lot of breweries have popped up recently, and we've always had a pretty good restaurant culture here.
Right.
But I can see what you mean where there's a certain limit to it, I guess. And they might not be as willing to accept things that they have never really experienced before and are not sure how they feel about, maybe.
Right. So I feel like, okay, from what I was told, and a lot of these things I'm not sure is true, so don't quote me on it. A lot of the people that own places like venues and places like Canalside, right, are older people that have lived here all their lives, and then they found a good idea to make something beautiful, right? Like Canalside is a perfect example. You got this area next to the water, it's gorgeous, why not have like awesome events there? Cool shit to do, activities for anybody of any age. And that's awesome, but it also feels like or what they've told me is that it's like you have to know someone that knows someone who knows someone to get in. And that's super corrupt and not okay. Because that's not, in my experience, that's not accepting of different ideas, like you're only sticking to your one group. Actually, it kind of feels like high school, is what it feels like.
Cliques.
Yeah. So like, they're like, oh, you're an outsider. Like, we're too afraid to figure out what's going on with change. So we're too nervous to give you a chance. And I notice that happen a lot. They don't want to admit it, but from what other people have said, people from here that I've talked to who are willing to take my company on, you know what I mean? They're the ones that are telling me this, obviously, but it's like you don't want someone to come in and take over, I guess is what it is. But that's not what we're trying to do. It's the complete opposite, actually. I thought that the City of Good Neighbors is more like we're going to work together and figure and fix the shit out,
And that's what any good company should want. They should want the business that they're in to grow and to thrive. And to do that, there has to be multiple things going on with it. Not that you're the only game in town, and if you like it, good, and if you don't, too bad. They should want that. Then that should step their game up too.
Right.
So they're improving, you're improving, the business as a whole is improving in the city. People are getting a variety of events that they can go to and things that they can see. And to not want that is, I mean, that's not a good company to me,
No.
that they just want to dominate.
Yeah, it's exactly actually it. Because, you know, an artist that I'm working with right now, he's awesome, and he worked for one of the companies that we're speaking about. And the guy that owned the company, I don't know what falling out they had in reality, but from based on what he told me, the owner basically didn't want any of his ideas and fired him. Like, wasn't okay with his ideas. Like, he didn't want to suggest them, and I guess he had all the connections, like the guy I'm talking to, or I spoke to. He was the one that was making all the connections and all the managing and booking.
Mm-hmm.
And when time came to it, the owner was like, "You're out. Like, go away. We're not working together anymore because I don't want you to do that." Like, it's kind of like a king of the hill kind of thing.
Yeah, it's insecurity to me. They're
Yeah.
insecure about, they're worried that their ideas aren't going to be as good as someone young and, vibrant is going to come in and take over all their shit.
But that's like the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's inevitable that, like, it's gonna change.
Right.
Why?
And the fact that why can't you grow together?
Right. That's crazy to me too. I've actually, you know, I'm not trying to hate on the whole city. You know,
You're hating pretty hard. But...
I was hating pretty hard, but I guess I'm speaking and at the same time thinking about the people that I've dealt with. But there are also some amazing, amazing people that I've met from Buffalo, in Buffalo, that have helped my company thrive. For example, like Be Kind City. The owner of Be Kind City is amazing. She got me some really good connections with people downtown, and she feels the exact same way, that like people here just need to accept the change, as positive as possible, because obviously if it's a shitty change, then like go against it as much as you want. But if it's something that's like someone that just wants to make it in the world, well, why not? So I got really lucky meeting her and meeting the people that she's connected me with.
So hopefully it's going to be more of a grassroots thing where like a bunch of people get together and say, we don't like the way this is, we're going to try to change it, and it may take a little bit longer because the powers that be don't particularly like what you have to say.
It's totally a grassroots thing for sure, and it already is, it just feels like it. And I think we're going to do awesome. And the people that I actually partnered up with, they're not from here, so it makes it even better.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, right. So I actually had some stories from them that included like their venue and the location that they have their venue, alongside with other venues that have been around and are owned by people that are in like their 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I'm not going to say exactly where and what venues they are, because they might fucking kill me. I don't even know how Buffalo works. Like underground mafia and shit,
Oh,
so,
that exists for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I can't say shit, and I'm pretty sure they own it. But so there was an incident where, this is just what I've heard, like there was some sort of racism involved. Like they didn't let certain people into their venue, not the people I'm partnered with, the people that are next to them. And so people found out about the new venue, the one that I'm working with, and they started going there more because of how accepting they are. And then the other venues weren't okay with this, like the other bars weren't okay with it. And they started doing shit like calling the cops on them, trying to shut down their events whenever it was happening. If they ever saw that it was doing very well, they would do anything in their power to stop them from, being successful.
And these people weren't allowed into a certain club or bar because of their race, we're saying? We think?
It could be race, but there are claims that it's because of the way they were quote-unquote dressed. But you know what I mean? But each person that was dressed happened to be a certain race.
That gets sticky real quick.
Right. I mean, for anyone that's listening to this podcast, if I were to tell you where to go, like on a Friday night, you would see what I'm talking about, and you would be able to see it. Like, it's kind of scary, actually, because that kind of shit still exists, you know what I mean? Like, in a world that we think is so evolved, it really isn't.
Oh, we're definitely not as evolved as we think we are.
Like, so the people that I'm working with, that I'm in partnership with, they are obviously not white. And they're a little scared because they opened this club not knowing what they were going to get themselves into regarding that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm kind of scared for them because, you know, like, people are sketchy as shit and they will bring you down. Like, places like Buffalo are like a movie. Like, it's like a big ass movie in a city. We're being filmed as minorities and watching the people that have been here forever basically say, "Get off my grounds," is like that's what it feels like.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's just like coming from outside, you know.
Right. Hearing
So
stories.
yeah.
I had no idea anything like that was even happening.
Yeah, so I mean it's because obviously we're in two different industries, you know,
Right.
like the industry I'm in, it's actually more competitive than I expected it to be, but I've made it very clear to Buffalo Rising and to people that I want to work with that I'm not involved with competition at all, that I refuse to be involved with it, that that we're doing our own thing, and that if someone were to compete, they could do, they could do whatever they want. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to one up someone because they're afraid, like, I'm going to take the hill from them because that's not what I'm doing. I have my own fucking shit going on, like, with my community. And, like,
Yeah, that's the thing. You just do what you do, and the people are gonna come to what they feel is good.
yeah,
They're gonna show up to where they have fun, and that's gonna be that. I mean,
right.
there's not too much they can do about that. So
Yeah. I guess, like, being the only part about this whole thing that sucks is that it's inevitable that people can misunderstand what you stand for or what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like it took me forever to get someone to understand that, like, I don't just throw big ass parties for people to get fucked up at. You know what I mean? Like, the point of the company is to be able to make people feel safe. Like, like, make people go, like, have people be able to go somewhere where they can let loose for a night, but at the same time feel safe where they are and not be judged for being who they are. You know what I mean? All in the while having awesome music and shit.
I think that part is important, what you're saying about not being judged about who you are, because there are places in Buffalo that I feel like you can go where you, either as a gay female or if you're a minority or something, that you may not, even if nothing in particular happens, you just feel eyes, or you feel,
Yeah.
I think I felt that before, even, I mean, more so in the suburbs, I would say.
Yes.
But
all in the suburbs, shit.
definitely some in the suburbs. There's been incidents, but so I think that's, the people show up for that, because it's a good vibe. And even like what Ambush does, it's a completely different vibe going into a bar with a bunch of lesbians than if there were, straight people everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with straight people, obviously. It's just a different vibe, and I think you can just let loose a little bit more in regards to being who you are in that setting,
Right. So, like when they, okay, so you're completely right because I've been to, like, bars with you and, everyone, like, out, like, Mooney's, for example, and that shit is sketchy as fuck. Like, I go there and I know for a fact that everyone's staring at me because I usually am the only Asian in the room.
Right.
Which I've gotten used to. So, but before it was just like, fuck, like, everyone's staring, or like you just feel out of place. Like, Ambush does a really good job at that, but at the same time, I've also had people tell me that they don't want to go to Ambush because it's just for lesbians. Like,
non-lesbians, you mean?
yeah, like, my other friends that are queer, like, guys, don't feel comfortable going there because it's an only lesbian thing. And if it is, shit, that's like their label, that's what they call it for, which is fine. But the whole point of, like, mean at events is that, like, anyone under the queer umbrella and anyone in the hetero world or whatever it is you want, who you are, even freaking dogs and shit, if I'm able to get that, like, allowed, are able to go to this place and feel not judged and free and safe. And that's just, like, a really big deal to me. Like, if there's any sign of, like, bad vibes or no peace, I'm going to try to shut it down as peacefully as possible. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of hard to do that.
Oh, and that's the thing. It's really tricky, especially even if you're talking about a straight person coming into a gay bar. Most likely they're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable,
Right.
even if they're with a few people or whatever. There was definitely a guy at Ambush that I'm pretty sure was straight and looked very awkward.
I remember
He
him.
did not look like he wanted to be there. Someone definitely dragged him there.
I remember him,
So,
actually.
but it's like, how do you get both of those worlds? I think anybody just feels uncomfortable when you're the minority in a setting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You feel like everyone's kind of a certain way. I stand out. I'm different, and I don't know how you mix those vibes. You know, I'm sure there's a way, but
I think that ultimately it just has to be, everyone just has to stop giving a fuck.
Mhm.
I like, honestly, like people that are racist, people that are homophobic, whatever it is, just like, if everyone just stopped giving a shit, and it's honestly our ancestors' fault. Shit, like, they made this society, they made it what it was, and now we feel like we have to adapt to the labels and shit. And honestly, labels should just not exist. Like, it'd be so much easier if it didn't. Although it does feel comfortable to know that you belong somewhere.
that's the thing. That's part of it. And then I think even without labels, there's just like when you walk into a place that has a bunch of lesbians, it's a vibe. Even if you don't label all these people as lesbians, there's a vibe. There's a general feeling that you fit in, that you belong in a certain place. And I don't know that labels create that necessarily. Maybe it kind of perpetuates it a little bit, but I don't know if that's what the issue is, you know?
Right. Well, I honestly don't think we're gonna know what the issue is. Not for a minute. Like, or to probably we'll never solve the issue.
I think it's about insecurity. It's about going somewhere and feeling like you're the odd person out, and instead of embracing that and saying, "Oh, can I join this group? You know, can I be a part of what's going on here?" You just feel uncomfortable and don't really know how to react to it, which I can completely relate to because I definitely have social anxiety. So.
Right. Okay, so I guess I didn't think about the whole social anxiety part at all.
Well, not
But-
everybody has social anxiety,
Right.
but
I mean, a lot of people sure as hell do.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But, like, when you step into... Let's say you go into a gay bar and then you go into a straight bar. Do you feel the same? Or do you definitely feel the difference? Like, do you feel more comfortable in one than the other?
yeah, for sure. And even we went to, was it Q?
Mm-hmm.
Which is more of a male-dominated place. It just almost feels more accepting. And I don't know if that's my own bias going into there, but it just feels like, okay, you can kind of take a deep breath, you know? Like, you don't have to worry about thinking about someone else judging you. And clearly that's like a symptom of anxiety and like a little paranoia.
Right, totally.
But that's how it is. I mean, I go into a place with a bunch of gay people and it's like, okay, like I know what's going on here. I know you, not, I've never, not that I've met everybody there, but you know what I mean? Like I know them in that I understand more of where they're coming from and what their lifestyle is like.
Right. Do you think that having all gay friends and going to these places help? Because I just realized that I've never had this many queer friends until I moved here. There's a lot of fucking gay people in Buffalo.
Me and G were mentioning that when we were going into the Pride Festival, because there were a ton of people, and I'm like, what is the percentage of gay people in Buffalo?
Like,
I didn't ever look it up, but
they're all just coming out, dude. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, last year's Pride was like shit. I mean, this one was like, right? But like, it still had more people than did last year.
For sure.
But like, all my friends back home are all straight.
That's so interesting.
All of them. Maybe like 2 of us aren't, but like that means me and one more person. So like it's not even a lot. But like what I'm saying in regards to that is that I went to a lot of straight bars all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like going to a straight bar doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Going to a gay bar doesn't make me feel uncomfortable either. Like the only time I'll ever feel uncomfortable is if I'm in like a hick bar where in the middle of like nowhere where there's just a bunch of, I'm the minority and they either want to hang me or eat me, like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's the only time I'll feel uncomfortable, but I grew up like with all these, hetero people.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't feel uncomfortable around straight people. I don't think. I don't know if I stated that, but
I was gonna say almost everyone probably is straight.
Yeah, a good percentage of the people that I know are straight. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's a matter of being the person that stands out. Maybe that's what it is. It's just a matter of like eyes that I don't want,
maybe. Yeah.
And I don't know. It just seems more free to mingle and talk to other people when it's. I don't know, when it's like an ambush event.
Wait, really quick, hold on. So, something that I noticed about going to gay bars or just gay anything in Buffalo and being friends with a shit ton of gay people is that it's like the L word. Like, every lesbian has dated or has had a crush on another lesbian in Buffalo, and that's really scary because I don't know what that's like. Like, I grew up in a city with millions of people, so if I wanted to date a lesbian and dumped her, I would never see her again, and I would never run into her or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how many times at Ambush that night someone was like, my ex is here. My ex is here. I was like, which one? You just said that 4 times. Like,
because there's multiple ones.
Oh, God.
That's how it is, though.
No,
if there's an event, like, everybody's there, you're definitely going to know somebody.
That's really scary. I've also seen regulars at the event. That was really creepy to me. And it's only creepy because I didn't know they were gay, so now every time they come in, I'm going to know they're gay. And I'm just going to be like, well, shit, now I don't know if you're being friendly with me 2 weeks ago or if you were hitting on me.
Right.
So there you go. Yeah. But there are a lot of gay people in Buffalo, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I think in general, if you're talking about a certain population, it's supposed to be about 10%. But
really?
Yeah.
In Buffalo, you're talking about?
No, I'm just talking in general.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure exactly
what
the percentage is in Buffalo.
I'm boosting that shit to like 30%.
No.
Yeah, because I know for a fact there's so many closet homos out in the world. Like.
Well, here's the thing. We're talking also about population close to the actual city. I think if we back it out to like Western New York area, I think the percentage is going to come down a little bit. Because all the gays are downtown.
All right, you're right. Okay. All the gays are downtown. We're not in downtown.
No, you're right. Gays. But we're like 10 minutes away.
Like, I don't know. This Pride was cool. And I think the reason why I really like this Pride compared to Los Angeles Pride is that it was a lot more spacious. It's definitely more intimate. But if I wanted to like get drunk at Pride and have a really crazy fun time, I can't do that here because like you said, we run into people, we know people, and I like own a company and it doesn't like go good, at least for what society sees as good or bad, you know what I mean? Like, like someone was like, be careful because you're going to be in an article soon, so don't do anything crazy at Pride.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what the fuck? I'm going with my girlfriend and my friends. Like, nothing crazy is going to happen. But although in the LA Prides I've been to, I mean, those were crazy. Like, I actually, yeah, I did things that I should not talk about. But, because it was bigger.
Yeah, it's huge. I think the parade's pretty lame.
The parade was horrible.
The parade is brutal.
No. The parade, okay, the people that were involved with the parade did an amazing job because they showed a lot of enthusiasm and, they stood their ground and they made their point. But the, like, organization, like, who's the event coordinator for this? Like, they need help. I will do it for free. Like, I will help you. Like, it's just, like, it was not coordinated. Like, people started doing their floats, like, a week before the event.
That's the thing, like, I want a little bit more effort involved. Like,
There's no effort.
A lot of it was just some people walking down the street.
It was literally like, here, let's all wear matching shirts and walk down the Elmwood. That's what it was
like you said float, but literally the closest thing to a float was probably a pickup truck pulling.
Yeah, that was Ted Hawkins.
That was the closest thing to a float that there was.
Ted Hawkins isn't even from here. He's from San Diego.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, what? Why am I going to see some people walking on the street?
Did you want to go to the parade?
No, I definitely did not. But that's cool.
Well, I'm glad you came out, man. Like, I knew a lot of people that were in it, so I wanted to go support. And I'd never been to a Buffalo parade. You know.
Now you know.
10%. No, that statistic is wrong. 90% of how I felt about the parade was sad. The 10% was me cheering on the homies. The other 90% was like, oh, people are just riding in that car and blasting music. Like,
yeah, it's just whatever.
Like, I wonder, see, it's like backdated. Like, it's all slow. Like, why is it taking so long? Like, I just want to mention this. Uber and Lyft is taking too long to get here. And
they
it's
keep
making
saying a couple weeks.
Look, I don't fucking care if it's in a couple of weeks. That should have happened 5 years ago when it was invented. Even more than that. Lyft has been around for like 10 years. That's crazy, okay? Just like shit like that. But I do see the Lyft stickers all over the city. I don't know if you've seen them or not.
No.
People are putting them on their business windows and stuff. So
Lyft's trying to get ahead of Uber.
it already is. Uber's fucking up. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna.
Did you hear they during the London attacks over the weekend, the people were trying to get out of that area and calling Ubers.
No.
And because there was a surge, their pricing was ridiculous.
That's fucked up.
They're gonna correct it, I think.
Is it because it was an algorithm that did that, though, right?
Yeah, it's like an automatic thing, and I think when they caught it, then they're gonna refund some people's things, but it's just like
charge them extra for trying to survive.
This is an emergency.
No, but surge. I was gonna say because that's definitely an algorithm that's developed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's high demand and there's only so many drivers, you know. I actually just heard about that. Was it the day after I heard about that? Was that when they had a birthday party going on?
Saturday, the London attack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about that. I just know that some people did some crazy terrorist shit and tried stabbing anyone that they could find, right? It wasn't like targeted towards anyone, or?
Oh, no. It was completely random, and they first started by hitting a bunch of people with a van. That's how they rolled up and hit people with the van, and then they jumped out and had knives.
Did they just go like full on, like pedal to the metal kind of shit and just like run over people?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Oh my god.
And luckily they had knives and not guns though, because they probably could have been a lot worse. Because people were actually fighting back. There was a story of like a policeman who only had his baton. And he was trying to fight these guys off. Was semi-successful, I think, but he's got a lot of injuries now.
Oh, he's alive.
He's alive, yeah, but
Thank
he's
the Lord.
not. He's been stabbed a couple of times.
What? That's really fucked up.
And then I think the same weekend in Turin, Italy, they were all watching a soccer game, like in a square. So there was a lot of people gathered in one area. And some scuffle broke out, and people wrongly started yelling that there was a bomb.
Oh my god!
I don't know why they thought
that
was the case, but they thought that there was a bomb, and there was a stampede. People were trampled. Nobody died, as far as I know, but there's a lot of injuries, and that just shows you the kind of panic.
Is everyone scared? Obviously I'd be scared too, but like...
Everyone's just so jumpy because it could happen anywhere at any time, you know, and it was a large gathering with a lot of people in a public square.
And that's how things are normally done in Italy, right? Like people watch a game together all in like a...
Yeah, there's definitely like public viewings and outdoor viewings.
Outdoor.
I couldn't think of like a TV.
An outdoor TV?
Yeah,
They make that shit.
Where they show like big soccer games and stuff, but they just panicked and everybody ran and stepped on each other.
Yo, crazy shit is happening in the world all the time.
Yes.
I can't, it's hard to accept it. The fuck am I gonna do from Buffalo, New York? I'm trying to throw raves for people to feel safe. Come on, like...
It almost just seems like, what can you do? And then once you hear about it the next time, you're desensitized because, how many times has
Right.
this happened at this point?
When I used to go to like huge parades and festivals like back home, like Pride for example, when we were
Hmm.
talking about it, there's like SWAT walking around the entire block of Pride. There are numerous amounts of like dogs and all that kind of stuff. And in San Francisco, same thing. They have people with guns on like the roofs of these buildings, and like they're just like trying to keep everything protected. But this Pride was like not like that. So the whole
Hmm.
time I was in the festival, I was kind of scared. I was like, some shit's gonna crack. Like someone is gonna do some fucked up terrorist shit, because this is like the year where a lot of people in the LGBTQ community are afraid because of obviously our presidential situation. Um,
Well, I
vowed
mean,
to protect us. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't necessarily blame those kinds of attacks on him because obviously that stuff was happening before
oh
he
yeah.
entered into the
Oh, I'm
equation.
sorry. I wasn't trying to
No. Just
to
wanted to clarify.
to blame him. I'm gonna blame him for everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me.
My tire blew. Fuck you, Trump. No, but still.
And that's how it is with the SWAT teams and stuff. And we went to France shortly after all the Paris.
That crazy shit happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so everything, subway station, bus station, train station, just random street corners. There's a guy with a big, AK-47 on this corner. But I mean, it's kind of it's a little bit scary to just see that big of a gun and just he's just hanging out on the street, you know what I mean? It's very
Yeah.
casual, but there is a sense of security to that if something were to go down, okay, these people are here to react quickly. But I think the whole world is kind of just looking over their shoulder, and especially at an event like that where
Right.
there's a possibility that,
Like a
I
hate
mean,
crime could happen.
yeah, or just someone could decide that they want to kill a bunch of people today.
Yeah, like what was it after Orlando?
Yeah.
San Francisco Pride was next. That was
Oh.
like the next biggest event shortly after that shooting. And my brother was going to that event, and I told him, I was like, dude, you better not fucking go to that. Like, I don't care how much you support the LGBT community. Like, there's a possibility something might crack, Like, they don't know if there's any other links around the nation that, you know what I mean? Luckily, nothing happened. They did, actually, no, they arrested two people that were suspected of having weapons on them. I think they caught a guy with, like, guns on him.
Really?
I think so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was some shit like that happened.
And I mean, luckily, I think they stop it more than it actually happens, but it's scary that we have to think about that now when we go places and do things because, I mean, not that it ruins something, but it's in the back of your mind. And,
Always.
yeah, and I mean, even like flying on an airplane now, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, flying an airplane is fucking scary. Not even because of terrorism, but because for some reason, even after all the times I've flown on an airplane, in which I do quite often, I always get scared on there.
Lately, I've been more anxious on planes.
Really?
Too.
Wait, but like, I'm anxious because I'm finally up there, and I'm just like, if this shit goes down, I'm gonna accept my fate right now. Like, I really do. I'm like, okay, I grew up Catholic.
Just make peace.
I'm just gonna, yeah, I make peace with myself. I'm like, this happens, it's cool. Like, just pray to God, and whatever. Try to leave, like, there's even a part of me that's like, I'm gonna leave a note on my phone, and hopefully if it's salvaged, people can find that shit. Like, shit like that,
that's going
dude.
up in flames. They're not getting that note.
No, okay, you're not sure. But, like, I don't know, like, are you anxious because of the same thing, or, like...
Yeah, no, once I get past, like, the terrorism thing, which I usually do once it settles in, and I'm like, okay, nothing's going on. And then I start with, like, the turbulence.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, okay. And then after this last one, I had to come home and look up, has a plane ever crashed because of turbulence?
You looked that up?
I looked that shit up.
What did it say?
It said it's really unlikely for that to actually happen. More likely that you're going to get injured because you don't have your seatbelt on, you're in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
But
No, turbulence is fucking scary. Let me tell you, okay, like, there was one time I was on a flight to San Francisco from here, and like the weather was just shit. I think it was like thundering or something. And we were delayed by like 2 hours, so I was already pissed off, you know? And the airplane, the attendant said, okay, we need a deboard. We already got on the plane. We had to deboard again after delayed for 2 hours.
You can't get back on.
Right. So, like, everyone's pissed off, right? And me and this guy that I made friends with at the airport are just, like, bitching to each other about it, right? Because we're going to the same destination. And the pilot, this female, comes out and she's like, you know what? We're gonna do it. It's gonna be okay.
Excuse me?
And I,
Did she just make
no,
that
I'm
call?
serious. I'm
Like,
serious.
I think we're good.
I'm dead serious. She seemed determined, so I was like, you know what, we should go. And then the guy, his name's Anthony, he goes, I don't think we should go on there, man.
Isn't this a Final Destination movie?
No.
Seen that shit?
Yes, I have. And that's what I was thinking of the whole time. I was like, dude, we were just on there and we could die. Like, but so I'm like, you know what? I gotta get to this place. There's no other flight from Buffalo to San Francisco for another 12 hours. That means I'd have to go home. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm getting on. So he's like, fuck it, I'll go too. I was like, all right. So we're on this plane. Yeah. So we're on this plane and everything's going smoothly until we finally hit like full elevation and turbulence hit. And we were just, let me tell you. So like he was sitting next to me. Like we didn't have assigned, we did have assigned seats, but he was like, he bullshitted to the attendant. He was like, my wife and I bought these tickets. And she's sitting back there. Is there any way I could possibly switch with the person next to her? And the person next to me was super cool, so we switched. So we sat next to each other. And while we're up there, it starts getting really crazy. Like I started getting whiplash and got really sick. That's how bad the turbulence was. And the whole time, we're just trying to talk to each other like everything's normal. So I'm just like, oh, so what company? You're dying. Like, what company do you...
Keep it casual.
Yeah, but then at one point, I was like, I'm really sick, so I'm going to stop talking to you. Like,
this last one I went on, I saw visible thunder, and I'm sorry, lightning.
No.
Yes.
That's fucking scary.
It was so scary. I was trying not to look at it, but someone on my, like, I could see in my peripheral vision, someone had their window open. I could see the flashes.
No.
And I'm like, what if that shit hits us?
But aren't you above it?
No, because we were coming down for landing.
Oh my God.
So we were coming, like, through a lightning storm. And it was often. It wasn't, like, every 10 minutes. And, of course, that's the other thing I looked up when I got back. Like, what if your plane gets struck by lightning?
What would it say?
And apparently there's mechanisms where it just kind of goes through the skin of it. So it would hit, and then it would filter. It would follow an actual, like, system, and it would come out the bottom. So you wouldn't even know.
What the
You would have no idea. It's like a grounding system.
This
where
is amazing.
I know. I learned so much about planes.
Thank you, engineers. Thank you, Dad.
So I feel a little bit better about that, but it's still fucking terrifying when you see that bolt in the sky right next to you.
I was actually thinking about that probably the same night. I was wondering, I was like, if we get hit by lightning, we're fucked. Like, we're gonna die. But I had no idea, obviously, until now.
Yeah, you're good. No worries.
Yo, but what if there's like a malfunction in what they build?
I mean, that I can't speak to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't seem good.
That's really messed up.
Yes, I don't know where that came from. I've always been pretty good flying, and then all of a sudden...
Do you think the older we get, the more aware we are of death?
Yes.
That's fucked up.
And I started doing that on, like, rides, roller coasters and stuff.
Oh, dude. Roller coasters are death-defying as shit.
I mean, I still do it, but the entire time I'm thinking, okay, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. What if we do this? Like, what if someone's stupid and has their phone and, like...
So... 5 years ago, did you feel any of this?
I would probably say no. 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say no.
Definitely no for me, because 5 years ago I was like 17.
That shit hits hitting early for you, though.
Yeah, it is. It's because I did shit too much too early, man. Like seriously. Like, I was starting my own company at 20 years old. And that's... Wow, I mean, 21, technically. Shit.
I'm telling you, the one ride we went on at Universal is like an indoor coaster.
Oh wait,
what's the Mummy ride?
Oh, I love the Mummy ride.
That's my favorite.
Yes, that's a horrible idea.
That was. I'm so bad at it. Okay,
yeah, you are. It's because your hand's open. That's like ruining the sound. It has to be closed when you do a high five.
Closed.
Like this. Close your hand.
What do you mean close my hand?
Like close your fingers, not your hands.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
See?
All right, that was a little.
Anyway,
it kind of hurts.
The Mummy is the shit because everything's dark, and you go backwards, it's like...
Yes.
So, when I went home recently, a couple months ago, we went to Universal Studios because my parents are crazy and they have...
This is
passes.
California, though?
Yeah, California. Los Angeles. And
is it all the same rides?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I think you guys, or Florida, had Harry Potter before us, though.
Maybe.
Like years, like 5 years
Oh,
or some
okay,
shit.
okay.
Yeah. But the Mummy's awesome because it's just like a big ass rush of air. Like it's not really like you see too much. Like you're just
you can't
flashing.
see anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, so we were on that ride. It was like one of the last rides we were doing, and I'm always thinking the same shit. Like, what if this was this, whatever. And we start going, and for whatever reason, our car is like mistimed with the show because I know the whole thing. I know that because I've been on it multiple times. So I know what's supposed to happen when, and then you hear like an announcer, but she's saying like, please keep your hands in. Like it's a recording. It's not someone
but it's
talking
off
to
the
us.
time. Right,
It's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be listening to the fucking Mummy threaten us.
Right.
And I'm like, oh fuck! Like this is it. We're gonna get.
You're not gonna die.
I'm like, the car behind me we're probably all mistimed, so we're probably gonna get hit by the thing behind us. Like, I don't know what else is broken on this thing. So
there's two.
It was like legit fear.
Yeah, no, for real. I don't blame you because that shit could happen.
Yeah.
I actually worked at Universal Studios.
You're gonna tell me a bad story?
Bad stories.
Right,
almost every day I worked there was an incident that happened.
Where
like,
someone got hurt?
And it was always, no, not someone got hurt, but where luckily no one was on the track, or if they were on the track, they didn't get hurt. But there was always something where, like, the wheel would go off the wrong, like, thing, or, like, yeah, and this would always happen on the Mummy. The Mummy was, like, the number one thing that was fun.
that ride, don't ruin
I'm serious, but shit's fun anyway, fuck. Like, honestly, if I died on the Mummy, fuck it, let it be, you know? But the Mummy was one of the number one rides that would malfunction. And we specifically carried and printed out like apology cards with the Mummy on it because we knew that there was a possibility that shit was gonna.
Mummy.
Yeah, so it would have like, you know, the Mummy picture on there saying like, we're sorry, here's a free pass to a ride or a free food item or whatever. Like, but we did the Mummy like 6 times in a row, I think it was, my brother and I, because I still have friends that work there, so they were just letting us run through the line. And it was awesome, but you know, you can still die on it, so.
That's all I think about. I still have fun, like, with them on, but.
Right. Do they have Jurassic Park in that one?
Yes.
Let me tell you. So, this one was actually really shitty. So, you know, right, I don't know if it's the same. Tell me if it's the same. So, you're going up, like, near the end, and you see the T-Rex, like, attack you, and then you drop?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so, our car stopped right as we were going up to get to the T-Rex to drop. So, the whole time, we're, like, me, my brother, and a bunch of, like, high school kids that were, like, drunk or high or some shit, were, like, stuck on this cart, just, like, slanted up a steep-ass drop.
Were you at the top yet, or were you still going?
No, we were still going up. So it wasn't even, like, we were even yet.
That's my worst nightmare.
It was gross, because I felt, like, sick. And all these, like, drunk, hyped-up high school kids are just, like, on Snapchat, we're stuck on Jurassic. I'm like, sit the fuck down. Like, they're, like, trying to jump, like, the rows.
Assholes that get people killed.
Dude, that's what I was saying. My brother's like, they're just having fun. And I'm like, you know what? Let them break their neck. It's cool. Let that shit happen. It's fine. I don't know. But Universal's still fun nonetheless.
But what happened?
We had to wait there like 45 minutes.
And all the other ones stopped, right? That's my concern. I'm gonna get
so
hit.
Everyone went, and then the one before us, they just stopped them and they let him out. So we were the only ones that were just stuck on that hill for fucking an hour. It was horrible. It was a horrible situation, but
that's
whatever.
what I'm saying, like.
Yeah.
And that coaster we did in Cedar Point, I'm gonna forget what it's called, but.
Oh wait.
You know what I'm talking about? Where it just shoots you. You go to like 60 miles per hour in a couple seconds, and it shoots you straight up and straight down.
Those people got stuck right.
Well, the thing that they tell you before you get on is that it's possible that according to certain weight limits and whatnot, you may not make it all the way up and come back down backwards.
Yeah. Because
shit.
But it happened.
I know it does.
It happened right when you guys were waiting in line. You went on that, right?
I did, but
when you and G were waiting in line, it happened because it was like, because they do it based on all momentum. So like
Right, so if there's too much weight, it's not
then
gonna make
it will
it.
stop and it will go backwards, but they'll do it slowly though. Like we watched it like pull down slow. There was a lock
I
system.
just.
But Final Destination shit. Oh fuck. National.
It was like
All right, there.
race car or something.
Bullet. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's yellow.
It was crazy.
That
I didn't
was
want to
one
go
of
on
the
it.
scariest things
I
I've
got a
ever done.
bad vibe, and I trust my intuition a lot, and I felt like if I went on that shit lightweight, it would have caused some issues.
Come
I'm
on.
not saying that I'm big or anything, but like maybe the extra 130 pounds would have
Oh my
caused
God.
some shit, and we would have gone backwards or flown off, man. You don't know.
But anyways,
Like,
point is that some shit causes me anxiety that
Yeah.
it didn't before.
It's because we're older, right? That was
We're
the whole
old,
thing.
and I'm not even old yet, so
Yeah,
who knows what's to come.
I'm super old.
They say when you have like kids, all the anxiety just compounds because
Fuck that.
there's a little.
That's a horrible thing to tell someone.
I'm just saying. I've heard that before.
I don't want kids anymore.
Because now you see everything as like a threat,
Yeah, I see. I don't know if I would be, because there's always a lot of controversy between being a super overprotective parent
Right.
or someone doesn't care at all. How do you find a fine balance?
Well, now all the parents have the internet to worry about too. You got to be monitoring what they're doing on there.
My
You don't
children
want
are
them
not.
to catch a predator.
My children are not gonna have the internet.
No smartphones?
Nope.
Till when?
Even though never.
Never.
Not until they're able to leave my house.
Good luck with that.
Even though my business and my company is solely based on social media and such, but still.
I don't know. Especially by the time you have kids, I mean, they might not even be smartphones. They'll probably be something else. But
They're not gonna. No, they're not gonna have it. I'm gonna find the only company that sells flip phones. Or like this faucet that you have. What do you have right here?
That's I don't know.
An
it's
LG
something.
An LG.
I don't know what it's
slider?
called. Yeah, it's a slider phone.
I miss these things, man.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Wait, really quick. Have you ever seen those stupid ass like reaction? What are they? They're like videos on YouTube where they show shit to kids that are born like in '95 when I was born, and they get their reaction out of it.
No.
I think 90% of those kids that are on there, who are my age, are stupid as fuck. Because I know everything that they're mentioning. And we're born in the same year.
They're sheltered.
They were sheltered. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, with the monitoring kids and stuff, I mean, I feel like you have to a certain extent, like, let them make their own mistakes.
Yeah, I know.
But, I mean, I would think that every instinct as the parent is to protect them from everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to somehow override that.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm sure animals have it figured out, right? Like, they protect them,
and they're
but
doing
they
fine.
let them...
Wait, no, that's not true. Because when I was on a plane, I watched some shit about mountain lions and how they did two different researches, right? So they watched one female mountain lion and who was, forgot the names obviously, but one of them was like super independent, super strong, and very fierce.
Okay.
And then there was another mountain lion mother who was lenient and chill and like let her cubs do whatever they wanted. And guess who survived? Guess who survived?
I had no idea that was a thing.
That's a
in
thing.
The animal world, though.
Right,
They're like lenient with shit.
No, it is. I watched it. You could tell which one was a hippie.
Interesting.
Guess which one survived?
I'm gonna go with the hippie.
No, fucking all of them died. All the cubs died. All of them died.
They didn't learn their own instinctual...
No, because she didn't fucking care. Like, she was just chilling.
Yeah.
She was like, oh yeah, go play with the predator. It's cool.
It's probably like you have to teach them all the basic skills, and obviously when they're so young, you have to protect them because they don't have any ability to protect themselves.
Right.
But you have to slowly let them kind of explore their own space and, play by themselves. They should always be able to play by themselves.
Are we talking about animals or people?
No, we're back to people.
Okay.
I have no idea how you're supposed to raise an animal, dude.
I was gonna say, this is crazy. I was gonna say, because the mountain lion hippie, like, she died and then her kids didn't know how to fend for themselves.
Just picture like fucking flowers on her
No.
head, like that Snapchat filter.
That's what, yeah, the Snapchat. Someone doesn't even have a smartphone, knows what we're talking about.
Listen,
Snapchat.
someone makes me go through all the Snapchat filters.
You'll love that shit. You'll love when she does that shit. But yeah, no, I think there's gonna be a fine balance. Kids are fucking crazy nowadays. People give them technology to shut up. That's crazy to me.
That's a problem.
That's really crazy. Stop yelling. Here's a smartphone. Go on Instagram, you're 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not a good idea at all.
Oh shit. Was it you that we were stalking someone on Facebook? Like, not for real, we just wanted to see if they had a Facebook. Sorry, everyone. But it was Anthony, and we were looking for his Facebook, and we found a kid that had the same name as him, who was like 10 years old and had like gangster-ass pictures.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody's monitoring
No
this
one's
shit.
monitoring Anthony, whatever. That's exactly, yeah. If I found out my 10-year-old kid had a Facebook and him saying he's gonna get Dome, because that's what it said.
Dome?
Dome. You don't know what that is?
I don't
I grew up with a bunch of heteros, and Dome, I'm just kidding.
Dome is like your head, isn't it?
Dome is like you're getting head.
Oh shit, I just figured it out as we were speaking.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Alright, well that's clever at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's gross when a 10-year-old says
Yeah, that's disgusting.
because like you're not even developed.
Well, that's the thing, and that I think technology is going to push that age of sexualization lower and lower.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I think it was already pretty low. So,
back in the day, people ideally would get married by 15.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think we're just going backwards with technology. What? Does that make sense? Oh my god.
Yes, it definitely does because
I'm quoting Chanel. There's another podcast
for another time. Yeah, technology could definitely go both ways. I think it could be detrimental to us as a society, and it can, for more obvious reasons, it can push us forward. But it kind of depends on how we react to it.
Well, I'm not gonna say that I'm opposed to technology because if it weren't for technology, I would have met G.
And we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
We wouldn't be doing this podcast. That's true. That's crazy.
No, obviously there's some really good things about technology. I mean,
yeah,
we have information from everywhere, all over the world, at our fingertips.
That's very true.
Seconds, we can find out anything.
I wonder how, like, how did people know about crazy shit that happened in the world back in the day, you know?
I mean, it depends how far back we're talking, but newspapers and radio programs, and probably a lot of word of mouth. You probably have a lot of information coming to you from your neighbors, and guess what happened in town today?
In town.
At the square at the market.
At the market square. Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, and that's why things are more overwhelming now too, because we're getting information from all corners of the globe that we would have never received previously. And
so quickly too, actually.
Yeah, as it's happening, they're always we have the bare amount of information and we already know about it,
Yeah.
Like in London, it was a perfect example. They're still, evacuating the areas.
Today?
No, I'm saying during the coverage. They've already got cameras there and we're watching it.
Yeah, while they're evacuating.
Right, they're still trying to get people. Yeah, and then we watch it for the next 48 hours and it's crazy.
While we're sitting in our couches.
But that's why we're so scared.
Yeah, totally.
Because we see, every time something happens, we see it. And it's too easy to imagine it happening to you.
I was gonna say, do you ever trip out on how, like, who you are is like your movie? Like you know what I mean? And I do this everywhere I go, every second. It's like, I don't know if it's paranoia or some shit, or just being very aware of everyone around me. But like, I go into like a cafe and I'm thinking about all the shit that I have to do today, right? Mm-hmm. But then I stop and I look over and there's someone else doing their own shit, and I realize that like they're just an extra in my movie. That like I'm the main character in this movie, and that I'm doing what I have to do to survive, and I just have to, you know what I mean? And they're doing the exact same thing, but to them, I'm the extra. Like, you're just a background person in this picture for them, you know? Like, that's crazy.
It gets really psychedelic when you start thinking about
It's
it too
crazy.
hard.
I have to, like, stop myself because I'm like, get in focus. Get in focus.
And I've thought about, it's not even a thought, it's more of like a feeling where I can feel whatever it is that is myself, I guess my soul,
Right.
looking out through these particular eyes.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know it sounds crazy, but I know what you're talking about. Like,
And it's like, what is this? What
No.
am I?
yeah.
And I'm like, this is my hand, this is how I see. Like, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I think that's what I'm saying. I think like just recently I've been more spiritually connected with myself, you know? Like I'm starting to be aware of spirituality, you know? I'm actually giving a shit about it for once in my life, and like shit like that is really scary because it's new territory, you know? Like you're learning new shit all the time about your soul and other people's souls, and like I don't know. I don't know. It's too much to handle, man. Like I think that shit could drive someone insane.
Yeah, you definitely can't think about it for too long. Luckily, when I have that eye, my soul through these eyes kind of feeling, it's only for a little bit. And when I try to think about it, it goes away almost. You know what I mean?
Good.
Like the awareness of it is like, no, you're not gonna figure this out. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, because you're not gonna figure this shit out today. It's too much for you.
It does. It starts overwhelming me.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
because
mean?
you just trip out. And I just had this conversation with Cooper about how like we both truly believe that if you dig too deep into your spirituality and you don't know how to differentiate reality and that, you will become like schizophrenic, or you will
Have an actual break from
yeah,
reality.
right. So that's why like doing shit like work and stuff like that is like good, because you know it's like even though you're complaining about it, like this is like you know you're on this earth, you know, like you're here.
Yeah, you need to turn yourself outward sometimes too. If you start just sitting inside your head too much.
Oh, totally. Like I trip like lately I've been tripping out so hard on everyone around me. Like someone will tell me, like lately people have just been opening up to me so much. Like strangers.
Yeah.
Fucking strangers, like they're just coming up to me and like I'll be working at I work at a cafe, so I'm like, how are you doing? That's a natural thing for me to say. Like, and I have to
say good and move on.
Right, but it's not like that. It's like, actually, I'm not doing too good.
Oh, shit.
And then person I've never spoke more than one sentence to will tell me their life story, and the people have been doing that for the past like 2 weeks for me, and I don't know why. So I've been trying to like shut off, but it's not working. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe like I have to let them talk to me.
They need someone to talk to, probably.
But like not the barista at your cafe.
No.
Like, well, I mean, shit. If that was my purpose in life, or whatever. But like, which I don't think it is. But if I have to, like, for a couple weeks, then all right. But it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever done that, but
like be the person, or
you be the person that's doing that. I don't understand that. That's an overshare.
That's overshare. Like some lady just recently told me about the guy that she's in love with. Excuse me, and how he married someone else. And oh my god, it was crazy. Like it's just this huge thing. And she's like, promise you won't tell anyone. Oh fuck, I just told the whole world. But you're not gonna say who it is. But like, just like shit like that, like really deep shit that you don't want me to tell someone that you're telling a stranger.
I was gonna say, how is she gonna tell you not to tell someone when she doesn't even know you?
That's what I'm saying. What do you do with that?
I wouldn't even know what to say to that.
I think I gotta like work out or something to like release all that energy that was just put into my soul. Like just
just dumping it on you and walking away.
Oh, totally. We'll do that shit all the time.
I don't know, man. That is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you want to wrap?
Yeah. Okay.
So our game plan is to take a little hiatus. We're going to set up a GoFundMe account, which I will be posting on Facebook, and Jam will as well. And we are going to just raise some money for some equipment so our audio doesn't suck as much as it does right now. And then we're going to come back new and improved.
Yeah, so basically we need better shit so we can get the ball rolling because this is something we really want to do. It's a passion of Daniella's and somewhat of a passion of mine. I really enjoy doing it. It would really help if you guys could pitch in and help us out and hopefully get you guys on the podcast as well. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Hopefully it's not going to be too long of a break. I don't know for sure yet, but we'll keep you guys updated. Facebook, we have a Twitter, which is at WTOS Podcast.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll think of so it's WTOS Podcast.
Yeah.
So find us on there. We're on YouTube, and that's it.
You know what? Hopefully we'll be new and improved. I think we will be.
We're gonna be. I think we've been also just working out how we are on the actual podcast.
Yeah.
You know, we've been.
You guys are literally listening to us progress.
Right.
It's awesome.
So hopefully it's evident because I feel better about it. Like every time we do it, I'm
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Okay,
sure.
This is sweet. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. See you soon.
Goodbye.